Hello, hello. This is technically my fourth stream. I've had a few streams just testing out the setup and seeing how things work. I'm still a newbie to streaming, but the idea is that I'm going to have a support channel for Blind Ballet users. So if anybody's there that's a user of Blind Ballet that came over from the website or saw the email that I sent out this morning, and you have questions or just want to say hi or feature requests or whatever you like, feel free to use the chat and let me know. When there's no questions for support, then I'm just going to do some dev work. The last couple streams I've been working on some things for actually for the stream. So there's a little plugin, a little functionality I made that when I go online, it should show on Blind Ballet that I'm online. So if we look at blindballet.com right now, there's a little message announcement in the app, as well as if we're just on the website, on the top of the website that shows that I'm online streaming. So here you can see on the website it shows up here, or as I said, if we're logged in. See, didn't realize I wasn't on the screen. Wasn't sharing my screen. So there's the little pop-up that I did. So that I coded. That was in the first stream. And basically how that's set up is I built a component that reads from a Firebase database, the database that Blind Ballet uses. It looks for if there's anything written there. As soon as it detects that there's data there, then the live announcement component that I created that is included on the homepage and the app shows up. And as soon as I go offline, it's gonna go away. So that's just reading from the database. And what I did is created a Firebase function that uses the Twitch developer console, and I added a webhook. You have to do that through the command line through curl. So I added a webhook to call my function every time there was a stream online event or a stream offline event for my stream. When it's online, then it sets the announcement text. When it's offline, it removes it. That's where the check marks are. You see, those are the ones that are actually functioning. So I think the first stream I did, I set up this announcement part. The second stream, I set up this whole webhook and got that working. And third stream, when did I do the third stream? The third stream, I've recently translated Blind Ballet into 48 different languages. So the last stream, so one thing, I used ChatGPT API to do that. So I did the translations for all those languages. And the thing that was missing for me is I did it in one batch with a command line script. And the thing that's missing now was to add new phrases. So instead of having to go through and run the command line script again for everything, I created an interface in my admin page, my back office app that I use, that I'm basically the only user of. And I create a small just interface with 3 fields. It creates the item in the database, adds a job for each of the languages, and then uses OpenAI's chat completions API to translate into all the other 47 languages besides English. And so that's working well. So I was able to add that, and I just used it for a new little functionality I added a little while back. So here's the translation interface I created. So I just add a keyword, like the example I used in my stream was new tournament champion or new tournament champions. The context that describes where it's at in the application. So the translation knows that if it's on a button, it shouldn't be a super long text. If it's a pop-up message or if it's a error message, etc. And then the base English text for that that is going to be the base for using for translations. Also, let me know if the volume's okay. I'm trying out a new mic setup, so let me know if the volume's okay on the mic. So that's the process, and then once those are filled out, you can click Add Phrase, and that'll generate the all 48 languages. And so, what was the function that I had just recently added? Yeah, so I think it's on the seating charts. It displays how many rebuys or add-ons that a person has taken in a rebuy tournament. I added this on fairly recently, and I got one of my longtime users said that he didn't like that information being shown because he shows that information, the seating chart information during the tournament, and he, I don't know, kind of feels that's private information about how many rebuys someone's taken. They don't necessarily want to share that with each other. So I add this little function to hide rebuys and add-ons, and use the translation functionality to add this phrase in. Actually, I'm not even sure if I've done that yet, but that was the idea. This was kind of stopping me from translating that. So I think that code, I still need to do that to do that. That could also be something we code online today or later. So what's else? So today, so that's all working. Today, my idea is to finish up the stream tools that I was planning on. One of the things I want to do is to have a stream overlay for Twitch events, for example, when a new person follows and so forth. There is built-in functionality into Twitch to do that, but I just think it's going to be fun to code it, so I'm going to do that. Also, in addition to events from Twitch coming through on follows, subscriptions, different things like that I would want to show, I also want to include events from the Blind Valet app. So we have, I already have these events being written into the database. There's a stream if you go to blindvalet.com/live. There's a live feed that shows what's happening across the globe on Blind Valet, what's happening when tournaments are going on in different places. So you have a player registering for a tournament in Norway, a player was just eliminated in New Caledonia, a player rebought in a tournament in Japan, Thailand, Ukraine, Italy. So this is all real data, real time coming through. It's a Friday, so the weekend is obviously the biggest times on Blind Valet. So that's the information I think would also be cool to kind of include in the overlay to link Blind Valet into my stream. So that's the idea of what I'm going to do today. Maybe I will translate this phrase first in the application before I do that, because that was kind of the point of what I did last week. So this hide rebuys add-ons text needs to be translated. So if you can see, if I change my language to something like Japanese, everything's translated except this button. So that's what needs to be fixed. I don't think I did that yet. So I know I didn't add it to the code, but I don't think I added the phrase either. So let's do that. Let's add it to the database first of all. So I'm going to add a new key. So let's make this hide rebuys add-ons. This is something the key I'll use in my code. This will be used to store it in the database, and this is what I'll use in my code to retrieve it dynamically. This is the phrase I'm going to use, and label for toggle button on seating charts to determine if rebuys and add-ons are displayed next to the players' names. this just gives the context of where it is in the application. This is information that I also passed to OpenAI, the ChatGPT API, to give it some context for the translation. And that's the phrase. So now I click add phrase, and this is going to go out to the database and should in real time add all those items in. So if we look to Blind Valley production, and I look at translations, and maybe look at I don't know, Spanish. And we go down to hide. We don't see it yet. Could be still being treated. So let's look at another place in the database. Because basically it creates a queue of translations to be executed. And so I put that into translation queue. It's empty, so it should have translated everything. If it doesn't, then we have a bug. Looks like we do have a bug. I only did this on dev for the moment. Not sure if I deployed it. Let's see if I deployed it. Might not be on my production server yet. I know that I ran the stream for 3 hours or something, so I might not have done this at the end of the stream. Let's see if we go to functions. And we're going to add translation phrase is there. Look at the logs to see if it was called. Did I just not click on the button? Is that possible? Or is there did it crash for some reason? Add translation phrase. We see it on the server, so I'm not sure why. US Central 1, Blind Valley Production, Cloud Functions. Add translation phrase. Why isn't that getting called then? US Central 1, Blind Valley Production, Cloud Functions, add translation phrase. And we're not getting any errors in the console, so what could be happening? It's definitely not getting called. Otherwise I wouldn't have this error. I mean, otherwise I'd see the error here. Let me just redeploy the function. Sometimes it gets messed up that way. Sometimes it appears there, but it's not completely deployed. So I'm just going to go make sure I'm using the right version of Node that I use for this project. I'm going to do Firebase use Make sure I'm on my production server. Blind Valley production, Firebase, command unfound. For my functions, I may use 18. Firebase use. Yeah. So now on the production server, now I can do Firebase deploy functions add translation phrase. And this should deploy only that function. I think I did a full deploy because I had added some remote configuration parameters, and those you have to, they ask you to do a full deploy, but sometimes you do a full deploy with the newly added ones when you have a lot of functions. Sometimes it is partially deployed somehow. Let's see if that's it, or if it's maybe I'm doing something stupid, which is often the case. Now I know the error message said something about a course which is issues with domains being accessed and so forth, but that's not typically a problem when you're using callable functions within an app. I'm already calling many functions like that, so it's not a permissions issue. It's something where it can't find the function it's trying to call. First time I saw that, I spent hours trying to figure out what my course issues were with permissions and so forth, and domains, and adding authenticated domains and so forth, and it has nothing to do with it actually. It's just the error message it gives. Let's see if that's done. So it is done. So if that's successfully deployed, we should see an entry in the logs saying that it was deployed. Which I don't see. Usually you'll see something if I go to another function. Let's see what's something that happens often. It's strange. It's not working. Huh. Deploy complete. There were no bugs. Everything deployed. Version 1. Deployed 2 minutes ago. So that much is working. Let's see. What could this be? Functions deployed. It shows it's deployed. Why can't I call it? It's not a naming issue. Add translation phrase. It's not like add translations phrase or something. Plural. Let me try it again on. Let me try this same thing on my dev server and see if that works. Let me start up my. Let me start up my dev server. Let's go to. So this is BV Admin, which is my back office application. This is what I use to manage my business, manage Blind Valet. It helps me with, I have a way to browse a user's account. If they ask me for support and they have a problem with the tournament, I can access that tournament and correct it at the database level directly from here. I can create coupons for people for charity tournaments, things like that. I can do whatever I want from this back office interface. And so this is my production version, and let's try the dev version. And go to translation. Let's do the same thing. Hide rebadges and add-ons. Label for the toggle. Hide rebadges and add-ons. Add phrase. Not sure if this was here. This one seemed to go through because everything cleared out, so it didn't get an error. And let's look at the database for dev. Translations Español. Hide rebadges and add-ons, and here's our translation. So this one went through pretty quickly too. And if we see the logs for this one, functions, add translation phrase, view logs. Why am I seeing nothing in the logs here? That's strange. It's strange. It was like 10 minutes behind. I don't understand what that was doing. Maybe that was the case on production as well. Yes, so it did load. You can see here that the function actually did load. That's when I reinstalled it. So maybe there is hope yet, but let's see. So you can see here, let me see. Probably can't see that very good. You can see here the cloud function. That cloud function creates a translation job for each language that I'm translating into. I can see here the text that's going to be there for translation. That just creates an entry in the queue, and then they're processed by a separate one. So let's try this in prod again. Let's see. refreshing the page won't do anything. I don't need to do that because it's on the server side that I change things. I'm still getting that error. Just out of superstition, I'll refresh, but it shouldn't really matter. No, I'm still getting the error, which is really strange. Works on dev, doesn't work on prod. I redeployed. These are the ones that are drive you crazy. The ones where they just don't work like they're supposed to. Let's try a full deploy. Let's see if we get any errors that are more clear. We've got it starting, but we don't have any errors. Don't have it processing anything either. The full deploy is going to take a while. I've got a lot of functions. The application's been around. This code base dates 9 years. And I've had other versions of Blind Valley before this, but this one particularly is 8 years. Bonjour, salut. We have a club initiation poker. Where are you guys from? Vous êtes d'où? Blind Valley is used by a lot of poker clubs. People that play poker for, a lot of them don't play for poker for money. Just play for the love of the game and play for a ranking in their club. And Blainville-sous-l'Eau. Super. Bienvenue. Bienvenue. Let me know if you have any questions about the app or any issues you have. I'd be happy to help. Right now I'm trying to figure out how to translate one button on my application. Meurthe-et-Moselle, okay. I'm in Nantes. J'habite Nantes. I'm American originally, but I've been in France since 2001. 23 years now. Nearly 23 years. So we're still deploying our functions. Let's see if this fixes our problem. It's really strange. Again, the idea is we're trying to pass in adding this translation phrase so that in the app this button becomes translated, because this was added after I did the translation into all 48 languages. Now I don't even know which button is the language button. There, I got it right. I guess I know my app good enough. These are all the languages that the app is available in now, thanks to ChatGPT. I've got 2 versions of English. That shouldn't be. I need to check that out. Should be only one. Since we have très satisfait du logiciel. Super. C'est génial. Je vois que les gens ils en parlent bien parce que j'ai la croissance dernièrement, j'ai de plus en plus d'utilisateurs, même si je ne suis pas super actif avec les mises à jour, mais parce que aussi j'ai une deuxième activité où j'accompagne les startups. Mais je vois qu'il y a les gens qui en parlent, donc c'est cool. Merci. Just saying that I've been having quite a few new users on the application in the last 3 to 5 months. It's been growing just kind of from word of mouth, so I'm not doing any advertising or anything. So I think people are spreading the word. That's really nice. Appreciate it. So yeah, so let's see if our script is un petit bug à signaler. Ok. Je suis preneur. Il y en a. A little bug that they found. Now we got a bug on my back office application. I don't know what's going on with it, so be happy to take a request to look at something. Ok, let's see. Une fois le tournoi terminé, lorsque je consulte le classement, so let's see, players, elimination, knock them out. Oh, somebody knocked out Jeff Kelly, that's me. Une inversion entre le 9e et le 7e. One thing you can check is you can go and look at the tournament log. Here it'll show all the actions that happen on the tournament. This one, I changed language in the middle of this tournament, so when it was created, the first entry shows in Japanese because I was playing with languages. But you can go to the tournament log and you can see if the order is correct. Au niveau du prix, okay? So the payout is inverted between the 9th and the 7th. Okay. Can you send me the tournament ID if you look at the URL? Or actually, why don't you send me the 4-character club ID and the you can do that in a whisper, I guess. I think. Non, bah c'est peut-être pas grave pour ce tournoi pour toi. Mais il y a peut-être d'autres utilisateurs qui ont le même problème. Donc s'il y a un bug, c'est important pour moi. Parce que s'il y a un bug, c'est sûr que vous n'êtes pas tout seul. Désolé, je tutoie. Mais so he said it's not a big deal. The bug is not a big deal, but there's a payout that is inverted for a couple of the players. But so I can take a look at his tournament if he wants. Je pense que vous pouvez envoyer ça en message privé, un whisper ou quelque chose comme ça sur Twitch. Je suis assez nouveau, mais je pense qu'il y a un moyen d'envoyer un message privé. Vous pouvez m'envoyer le code de club, 4 caractères, et je peux regarder le tournoi, si tu veux. Ou or if you want to send it to me, you can use the message here. The support channel on Blanvalet, you can use that. Send me a message, I'll get it right away here. Vous pouvez envoyer là en chat et je vais recevoir le message tout de suite. Oui, mais il me faut pas le nom de tournoi, il me faut le nom de club, il me faut l'idée de club. Donc ces 4 caractères là, il me faut. Si vous me donnez ça, je peux regarder. While I wait, I want to check out logs, see if I see any information yet. Nothing. What the heck? This one is weird, this bug. Let's see if add translation phrase is in here. It should be. Okay. With N, Y, E. Okay, I'm just gonna look at this off screen for a second. So I don't show your information to everybody in the Twitch world. Alors, Club Initiation Poker MFC1. Ok. Et c'était quel tournoi? C'était quoi le nom de tournoi? Vendredi? Non. Sur tous les tournois? Il y a ce bug sur tous les tournois? Ah. Ok, attends, je vais regarder. I'm taking a look at his tournament to see what the problem is. So one thing is I have a little button that I can join your club. Discreetly join your club, and then I'll see it in my interface. Ok. Donc, 7e place est 19 et 9e est 15. Ouais. Ok, I see. Je vois. Effectivement, il y a un petit problème de tree là. Mais en fait, il y a deux boutons et je vais te montrer. Donc là, effectivement, sur... tac, non, je vais regarder une autre. Sur cet onglet-là, il y a un problème dans le tree, dans cette partie-là. Normalement, en fait, il y a un problème avec le tree dans celui-là. Normalement, c'est alphabétique ici, par nom. Et ça, c'est trié pour le classement. Et dans ton tournoi, j'ai vu que le classement était bon sur celui-là, était mauvais sur celui-là. Mais en fait, celui-là, c'est pas du tout en ordre alphabétique. Les D sont après les F. Je ne sais pas pourquoi j'ai fait comme ça. Donc, il faut que je regarde ça. Donc, normalement, c'est alphabétique et classement d'ordre de... Donc, si tu cliques là, dans tes tournois, tu devrais voir le bon classement. So, if you click on this sort for the leaderboard, you should see the right sort order. And this one is supposed to be alphabetic, but for some reason it isn't. I don't know why. I need to take a look at that. That's a bug. Why would that be? Let's take a look. Let's take a look in the code and see what that could be. Donc tu peux vérifier, dis-moi si je me trompe, mais normalement si tu cliques sur le bouton classement avec les chiffres, ça devrait être correctement trié. Okay, so there's a little bug with the sorting on the players tab. So let's try and find that in the code. Players table. Let's see. So we have leader sort. Been a while since I've done this. Let's see the toggle button. So leader sort and player sort. I think so let's see. These are the button. This is the button that switches between alphabetical and leader. Some different display things depending on how they're ordered. In the rows, let's see. So it passes in the sorts pipe. Okay. So player sort or leader sort. So when we gotta look at what? Shared. I know it's a field. It's a field in the database. Let me check. Let's see. This is my tournament. This is in production. Hello, hello. Oops. Hold on, let's see. Vous avez beaucoup d'abonnés. J'ai beaucoup d'utilisateurs. Il y a beaucoup utilisent la version gratuite et après il y a pas mal d'abonnés aussi, de plus en plus. Il y a du mal à charger les bases de données. Je ne sais pas qu'est-ce qui se passe là. Voilà, ok. Okay, so let's look at tournaments. Players. So this is my just test one. The player sort is being changed to include the finish position, which is not supposed to happen. That's a problem. So c'est un vrai bug. C'est un vrai bug. Merci. It's a real bug. Let's see. Player sort. Okay, let's see. See, this is not supposed to be here. So there's basically two sorting functions, sorting fields that I use. One is called player sort, that should be just basically a lowercase version of their ID, uppercase version of their ID, and another one is the leader sort, that should use their finish position and then their name. And change member name in tournament. Players, so player sort should always be players sort. Tournament players, player sort, okay. So this particular piece of code is when you change a user's name. So that may have happened. Alors merci pour c'est sympa que vous dites ça pour Blanc Valley. Juste une question, est-ce que par hasard, si c'est toujours 9e et 7e place, c'est bizarre, mais si le classement change pour un joueur en particulier à chaque fois, ça peut être lié avec le fait que vous avez peut-être changé son nom à un moment ou un autre. Parce qu'après, ça modifie son nom dans tous les tournois. Et là, je vois un petit bug ici. Parce que là, else. Donc là, en fait, on va faire juste comme ça. On va toujours traiter de la même manière. S'il est terminé ou non. Ah non, c'est le leader sort qui devrait être mis à jour. Successor with leader sort. Non, même pas. Hein. Ah, c'est même pas ça, le leader sort. So I do have I have a little sorting bug, and bear with me. This is code I wrote 5 years ago, so we're trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, so the leader sorts, the way I do it is, if you look in the application, let's see. This leader sort, when the tournament is ongoing and it's running, people can have their chip stacks also available, where it shows how many chips they have. These are the payouts when they finished that are in orange, people that are in the money. And so it could be a chip stack of 10,000, or it could be a payout if they've already finished in the tournament. So what I do is I make the sort basically alphabetical if they've been eliminated and didn't get a payout. No, excuse me. This one is sorted by their finished position. And if they haven't finished yet, then it's sorted by their chip stack, because you can update chip stacks if you want. So as people are eliminated, it's their finished position. Otherwise, it's their chip stack that matters. And I do that by using kind of a negative sort order. So I use the negative value of their chip stack, and then the positive value of their finished position, and that when I sort everything ends up being the correct order. But the player's sort should always just be their ID. So we see here I have a function for it. Get player sort, which should be in my utility service. Zero 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 plus their name in uppercase. Why 000? Do I do that? I think it's for the. Can't remember why I added the 000 on the front of it. At the time, it made sense. But that's what it should always be. It should always be using this. So anytime I'm setting the player sort, it should always sort by that. So let's go back to the find. And so this one is definitely wrong, this player sort. Now, so basically I'm just going to get rid of this. And I'm going to get rid of this. Because whether they're finished or not, it shouldn't matter. Not sure why my code formatter isn't working. Format document. Prettier. Okay, So because this, that should be okay, and then it replaces it. Should be good. Player sort here. It's fine. It's fine. This is using the correct function. This is using the correct function. So is that. That's the sorting. Okay. Should be good. This is the default, is the players, is the registered players, which makes sense. That should maybe change depending on the state of the tournament. I'll take a note on that because it makes sense when you're ok, merci, tu as vérifié le classement et c'est conforme, très bien. It makes sense to sort by alphabetical when people are still registering for the tournament, but when the tournament has started, it would make more sense that the default ordering on that page should be the leader sort, the leaderboard sort. Especially after people start getting eliminated. So let's also change that. Okay, so the little change I made should fix things. Now, the question is for existing data that's already out there, because this is data, the sort parameter is in there somehow. It's probably not the best way to do it by actually writing the data in, but that's just how I did it years ago when I did this. Let's first make this fix. What did I change here? Oh yeah, I just did prettier. Fix player sort bug. Let's test that first. So let me go to my dev server. I'm even live on Twitch on my dev server. That's right. I tested that first. Let's see. So let's see, tournament that has a bunch of players. Actually, we need to do a new tournament because it's not going to necessarily fix previous tournaments. I could write a script that would fix those, but there's a lot of tournaments in my database, so that would take a while. So let's see, new tournament, players, let's register players. These are all it's all test data that I've done. Max players 9. Oh, max players 9. I'm on the club playing. Max players 9. Let's make max players 90. That's another thing people run into, that it's defaults to what you did for your last tournament, I believe, and probably need to fix that too. So now I can register more on the club plan. And then let's go to payouts. It's good, maybe add some more places paid. Okay, so 6 places paid. I'll start eliminating in some random order. This is still ordering by if they're finished or not, which is not the player sort. The player sort should still be alphabetical. Did I do that? No, I think the ones that are finished. I need to look at the sort because this is not alphabetical, obviously, because they've been eliminated. Merci. À bientôt. That's great. I got a couple things to fix on this stream. That's why I'm doing this. So players are still not sorting correctly on the alphabetical page. I don't mind it being separated by who's still in the tournament and who's out of the tournament, but when they're out of the tournament, it should be sorted alphabetically. Right? We should see AA at the top of the eliminated people in alphabetical, and then on this ranking, it's by the chip stack. So you can change someone's chip stack, make them have 15,000. They should go into first place. That's working. 2,500. 7,500. So that much is good. So do it from the seating portion. Those are obviously ordered by the seats they're in. So this is alphabetical here. Let's see how I'm sorting these things. So players table again. Let's look. Player table sort. So is it that the data is bad? Let me see. Where is my... tournaments? Let's look in the database and see what we're really looking at here. Actually, yeah, tournaments. This is my dev server, so we'll look in the dev database. And so let's see, for example, who do we want to look at? Let's look at Pointy. Pointy. Not sure where I get my test names from. So pointee. Display name is pointee. Player sort, so there is, okay, that's what I was doing. If they're eliminated, if they've been eliminated, it should show the order they were eliminated in. If they haven't been eliminated, then it's alphabetical order. Does that make sense? I suppose. I suppose that does make sense. So that's why there's the 000 on people that haven't been eliminated yet. It's because okay, it's because in that case my change was not good. So this is not actually a good correction I did. Because if they're finished, then there should be, I think it's a change I made at some point to do that. And if they're eliminated, we should see their finish order first. But I was doing it here where I should really be doing it in that function. Get player sort. Let's look at this function. I think that's actually the real problem. This one, I don't think I changed anything. Shouldn't need that. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to that utilities function, get player sort, and fix that to make sure it's doing it correctly in every place. So that's in a provider, a service, utility service, get player sort. So what we want to do is we want to say if it's only passing in the name. Ideally it would pass in the player object, and then I would extract everything from the player object. That would be cleaner. Right. Just want to check something as well. Also, this is probably what the problem is. One of the problems is that this is lowercase, this is lowercase, and the other ones are uppercase. That's a problem. See that? That's been all put into uppercase as it should be. One that hasn't been eliminated yet. And the other ones are not necessarily, so there could be a mix of uppercase and lowercase, and that's changing the sort. It's kind of sloppy. So let's see how many places I call this. Not that many. So ideally, let's see, can we do this? What if we change this to pass in the player object? Member name. So this is looking up the player object. I have it there. I have it there, obviously. I have it there. The registration, it should be fine because there just won't be a finish yet. That's fine. is this? This is undoing an elimination. Okay. That should be okay. I can just pass, because this one is, if it's undoing an elimination, that means that the player's not going to have a finished place anymore. So that I can handle that. So I can do this. So let's change this to TypeScript purists are going to cry out because there's any type is all over the place in here. This is the first thing I ever did in TypeScript, and I didn't know what I was doing, and so there's not a lot of interfaces. I should go back and fix it at some point, but at the moment it is what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if player object has a finish property, then return a string with 3 digits finish number followed by display name property in uppercase. Else return followed by display name in uppercase. So now we're going to let GitHub Copilot do its work. Let name equals player display name. Probably don't need to do that. If player finish, return right. Probably don't need to do that. Probably do that a bit differently, but so let's make this instead. We'll make this up to uppercase. We'll force it here. No sense doing it twice. So what this is doing is just adding the pre-padding for the extra zeros if necessary to the finish position. So this is fine. And if it's more than 100, if it's 100 or more, then it doesn't need to because it's already 3 digits. Otherwise, just returns that. Duck. So let's see if player so let's do this just to make sure that we have valid data. Else return null. I guess we could return an empty string would probably be better here. Okay. Get player sort, this looks good. So now we need to change every place it's called. We need to change to pass in the player object instead of just the name. So in this case, the player object is here. see next. So that should be good. This pass in this object. That should be good. Senso 19. Salut. Désolé si je vois pas tout de suite le chat. Des fois, je suis dans mon code. T'as plein d'idées pour améliorer l'outil. Super, je suis preneur. Yeah, Senso says he's got a lot of ideas to improve the application. Let's hear him. Let me know. On y va. Je suis preneur. Je vais juste corriger ce petit bug en attendant. So here we're passing the object. What's next? Here, passing the player. Here, let's see, passing the member should be fine. It's gonna have no finished position, of course, but that's okay. In the params, here is gonna do it a bit differently because this is in doing an undo action, so it's a bit different. So I'm just gonna create an object with display name only. So I'm sure it's not gonna have the finished position, it's just only gonna have the name. But that should work. And what's next here? This is the thing I just changed. So let's test this. Allez, Senso, je prends tes idées, hein. On y va. On y va. Okay, so let's check this and see how it's working now. Let's do another new tournament. So these should all be uppercase now. The player sort should always have uppercase values in it. Okay, so let's see. It's a new tournament, so let's check this ID. Whoops. Did I just do? This is the one I just created. Okay. Senso, je crois qu'on a déjà parlé en chat ou par email ou Facebook, je sais plus quoi, mais on a déjà discuté. Je suis assez sûr. Okay, tournament. Let's look at this tournament here. Player sorts. Baxter, this looks good. Uppercase everywhere. Now, I think the problem that our friend at the Club Initiation Poker was having was actually when they were eliminated. So let's see how those do. It's possible that they're not forced uppercase for some reason. So let's see, who did I eliminate? Jeff and Baxter and BBB. So Baxter now has his finished position and not uppercase. That's a problem. And Jeff is going to be this one. Also not uppercase. So that's a problem. So the leaderboard should also, the leader sort should also be uppercase. Okay, so let's see the leader sorts in our code. Leader sorts. Okay. Let's see what we're doing here. Duplicate tournament, okay. So this sets it to, so again, this is a bit weird how I'm doing my sorting on this, but it, to be honest, I should really get rid of the leader sort and player sort altogether. Really, it's not the way to do it. Right, all this is just clunky. It's not, this is before I learned how to use pipes in Angular. This is like dates to V1 of the application way back when. So let's just bite the bullet and do it right. Yeah, let's get rid of all these changes because these are not what we're gonna do. Let's start over. I understand the problem now, so let's take care of it. So these, let's see, these are our pipes. Sort pipe. Sorting by a field, okay. So let's do this. Let's see. No, ng generates pipe shared and do a leader sort. Let's do the player sort first. That's the one we just did. And let's go ahead and just create generate pipe shared leader sorts. Okay. So just generate this pipe. So this is going to take what? The sort pipe that we're using takes this. So again, sorry to all the TypeScript purists because this is going to be painful for you. I don't code like this today, but this is a while ago, so I don't have interfaces for all these people. They're pretty complex objects, and I'm not going to do it right now, but so let's see. List of players. Not going to take a field. The list of players. Actually, since we're already passing in leader sort or player sort as fields to the other one, it could be a very small change actually if I just pass in the sort type as a string. And so I'm going to say here, if sort type is player sort, sort by finish position no, let's say should first show players without finish property. In alphabetical order. Then show players with finish property in numerical order. Yes. If sort type is leader sort, should first show players with finish property. No. Without finish property, ordered by the stack property, numerical descending. With finish property in numerical order by finish numerical ascending. Sort type is leader sort should first show players without finish property ordered by stack property, numerical descending, right? People that are still in the tournament. Then by finish property, numerical ascending. I think that's right. Are there plans to perhaps one day have an Android app for paid users? I am a subscriber from the USA. I'm still haven't really decided if I want to do an app. I think I'm going to have some version of an app. The question is it going to be a full-featured version of the app or no? The problem with the app stores is that the app stores, if you offer subscriptions in your application, they take their cut, which is 15 to 30% of every subscription after that, which is a heavy price to pay. That's why I've kind of steered away from it for the moment. You can use it on mobile. It's responsive for mobile. What I'm kind of thinking about doing is doing a remote control app. So basically an app that would be a remote control for your tournament, where you could maybe display the tournament clock. You can scan that with the remote control app. Scan a QR code in the corner or something. That would open up a remote control for that app, and then you would be able to stop and start the clock, eliminate players, assign seats, and so forth. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards for the app side. Probably, at least in the short term, won't be doing a full-featured Blind Ballet app for mobile. Typically, people are going to put that on a computer, put it on a TV. hook up to a display. Tablet is a question. Tablet could be interesting. But yeah, so that's kind of my thinking with it at the moment. If I do the mobile app, it will be cross-platform, so it'll be iOS and Android, probably released at the same time. I've been using Flutter for the latest mobile apps that I've done. Flutter is a development framework from Google based on that uses Dart programming language. Kind of takes some getting used to. It's a lot of widget within widget, but once you figure it out, it's pretty nice to work with. And it compiles to both Android and iOS. Does that answer your question? What is it? Isuzu? Is there a way to plug in data from Blind Valet to my WordPress site for a poker club I am starting, like a leaderboard or standings or predetermined results? There isn't at the moment. That's something I've definitely been thinking about. And right now there's the club plan offers league management, so you can let your players log into Blind Valet and see the standings there, but it's not public, so it's always behind a login wall at the moment. But I do have plans. This is probably will be maybe before I do the mobile app, but I have plans to make this more shareable info. Like I said, right now it's private, but if you want to make the results public, there's no reason I shouldn't let you share that. So the idea is to make the tournament results shareable, make upcoming tournament schedule shareable, making and also making the a tournament clock shareable, so that you could actually get a public view of your ongoing tournaments. Just more of what level you're on, how many players are left, that type of thing. And then also the league results. So that's another thing that should be shareable. And the idea would be to have some widget code that you could just copy and paste into your website, and it would display. So there is a plan for that, and that's on our feature list. But that would surely be only available on the paid plan, probably on the club plan. But that's a request I've had from a lot of people, for sure. I also have future plans to even have a full club website possible through Blind Valet. So you would be able to publish your club, have the whole club, add articles to your club and so forth, kind of replace the entire WordPress site with kind of a full featured club functionality. But that's probably a little bit longer term at the moment. Let's see if A finish and B finish, not B finish, return 1. Okay. Be happy to answer other questions if you want. If you don't have any more questions, I'll keep going on with my code. But feel free to ask more questions. So this is the sort function. No problem at all. So this is the sort function. When you do a sort function like this, you basically give it a function to determine how to sort two player objects, player A, player B. And so you return a 1 or a -1 to determine which one is going to go in front of the other. So as I said for player sort, if player sort should first show players without finished property in alphabetical order. So in this case, it's going to say to show the person without the finished item first. And so if B has not finished but A has, then it's going to return 1. If A has not finished but B has, it's going to return -1. Okay, that makes sense. If they both finished, then you're going to sort, then you're going to do a sorting by the finish order. So this, them doing the subtraction is going to either make it negative or positive depending on which one of them it has the higher finish position. And then if it still hasn't returned and it gets to here, that means that either in this case it will be that they have both not finished if it gets to this point, and then it's going to sort by the display name, but we want to do this, which I did not say, case insensitive, so we want to add 2 uppercase to these. That should be pretty good for player sort. So then we should have leader sort. So first by finished position, and then by stack. Actually, let me just change this. Because often people don't update the stack. So often the stack is going to be the starting stack for everybody for the whole tournament. It's a feature that I added, but most people don't use. Order by the stack property, numerical descending. And then I'll add alphabetical if stacks are identical. Let's see, there we go. So instead of just doing the minus for the stacks, it's going to do, as we did for finished position before, we just do the minus because we know that's not going to be the same value. The stacks are probably likely going to be the same value. So if they're different, then we'll sort them. Otherwise, if they're the same, we'll do it by the name. To be honest, these aren't that different. And during registration, nobody's going to be eliminated. Nobody's going to have a different stack, so they're all going to be. You know what? I think we should just do a single sort method and take away the button completely. Does it serve any real purpose to have these 2 modes? They're so similar now, anyways. As long as we sort unfinished by alphabetical as a second sort, and we're probably good with a single sort method. Like this will just work for any of them. Let's try this. Let's just forget the sort type. Okay, so player sorts. Let me think about this. Just see if I use player sort anywhere else to actually sort. I don't think so, right? Player table component. Player table component. Suspects. That may be one. Let's see. Tournament service, no. Club service, no. Suspects. What is suspects? Suspects is a sort for suspects is a sort when you're doing a knockout to see who knocked the person out. So it's giving you a list of options of who knocked them out. So that one I can fix later. That's okay. Let's just do this player sort. I like where we're going with this. So player sort, okay. Let's test this out. So let's go to the players table component. And there should be sort. And I'll find it in here, sort. So we can just replace this whole thing with player sort. That's the pipe we just created. That's the only place it is. So given that, now both our sort methods should be identical. And I have no players left. What did I do? I broke it. Error multi-components match node with tag name. Oh yeah. Right, because there's already a variable called player sort. So so let's call this player sorter. It's kind of terrible, but it is what it is. Okay, let's go back here. Player sort. And we'll make this player sorter instead. Hopefully it's unbroken. No. Multiple components match node with tag name. Player sorter could not be found. Let's see, maybe it's not importing. It's possible. Let's see. I think we just need to check my sort. to make sure I'm importing it in the right place, the pipe in the right module, because I have multiple modules, which is a way to break up your code. And I think it's, let's see, I think it's going to be in, the shared module, club shared, right, sort pipe. These were added automatically. Probably don't want them in here. That was added through the CLI command line function that I did to create them. Sort. Declarations, let's see, okay. Cap first letter, okay, no. So I'm going to add this in the same place we added here. Just going to add it in the exact same way. Player sort pipe. Exports, sort pipe. So yeah, so the modules within Angular, you can put different components in different modules. When people code my homepage, they don't need to, even though it's an Angular component, they don't need to load all this stuff at that time. So it makes the page load faster on the homepage. When we're in just the club components, we don't need all the things about the tournament. So there's a lot of things that that can be optimized with that. So player sort pipe, it's good. That should be it. Let's see if that works better. It looks like it hasn't crashed this time, so we're getting our sorted data. So normally now they should both be identical because I'm not using that parameter anymore. The only difference is you see the numbers on the leader sort one. Which sometimes people don't like when it hasn't, when you haven't actually. So the place. These people are basically all tied for first. So that's why this place can be confusing. So let's try and we can maybe fix that as well while we're at it. Because basically these people are all had the same stack. They're still all in play. They haven't been eliminated. So there's no reason that just because his name comes in L comes after J, which by the way, the alphabetical order is working because greater than sign is not a letter, so that comes first in ASCII, and then it's going alphabetically after that, so that is working. Then it's by place they were eliminated. So if Lapito, if I change his stack to 2500, he should go to first place, which looks good. So yeah, so that's working. James goes down to a chip in a chair, goes down to 25. He goes down to last place of the people still in there. But really, in this case, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 are all tied for second place, technically. So what would be nice would be a 2. If we hide this, and we hide this. So we just see second place, these 4, and then sixth place. And sixth place is James. That's what would be ideal. Then we can just get rid of this button altogether, and we just do the leaderboard, right? I think that's the best. All opposed? It's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. Okay. So let's see. This we don't need anymore because player sort is all working from. Is going to be the only one we use. So I'm getting rid of this and getting rid of this. I'll keep this pipe. Now, actually, can I use the player sort name? Because maybe that was the other bug that I saw. What happens if I put this name back to player sort instead of sorter? Player sorter. Place with player sorts. And replace all. Will that crash or no? No, it's working. Okay, so that was just I just hadn't imported the module. That's why I was getting the error. Okay, let's go. And then we go to our player table components. I'm going to get rid of the altogether. The button we're going to get rid of. Player table sort. There's also a variable that we needed to get, and a function we can get rid of. So, player table components. So we no longer need this variable name. Gone. We no longer need this function. Gone. What else? I think that's right. That's good. Make sure it doesn't mess up our CSV export. If we were using any sorting, I don't think it is using that sorting, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so player table components. Hold on, this is doing the. No, it's just, it already sorts it. It sorts it itself, which is bad. I should have used the sorting that I was already doing, but okay, that's fine. Okay, so that's good. Player table sorts. So we have different tables if it's using the leader sort or the other one. And so the other one we don't want. Let's see. I know. So it's just this column that is going to be always be here. That's what I'm going to say. So it's the same table. So I'm not that terrible. The place. These are the headers. So we're always going to have that row or that column. And then the row, let's see. Player sort. And this one is also going to always be there. This is the value that we're going to need to change for ties. Let's see. So we don't want to display that if it's a tie. And then we should be good. So let's see, players, no more button. That cleans up in our interface. And we just have a single ranking. So like I said, it's a bit weird that they're all in the, these are ordered and they're not tied. So we gotta fix that. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the sorting. If he gets eliminated, he goes down. Those three are still tied. So let's fix that now. Maybe it's time for a commit since these things are working pretty well. So let's still my development branch. Let's change the branch. Let's see, player table sorting. Player table sorting. And we'll commit this. Remove toggle button for player sort methods. Single composite sort based on finish place, stack size, and player name. Pretty happy with that. Okay, so back to key. So this is the place they're in. So in this case, it's just they're just going off of the basically the line in the data. The data is what? Where's my ng4? Okay, so it's in. It's here. Key. So let's see, how's the best way to do this? So this is going to be an array. Key plus 1. So basically we want to say so basically it's going to be if key is 0, then we want to show a 1 if it's the first line in the table. If it's not the first line of the table, if it's any of the other lines, then if the player above us, if we're finished, we should just show the finish. If the finish position, so just key plus 1 is fine. If we're still in the tournament, we haven't been knocked out, then we should probably show and our starting stack is equal to the person right above us in the ranking, in the sort. Then we should then we should not show anything. So let's see. Why don't we say get player ranking and pass it player object and the array. Does that work? Does that make sense? Or we can use the player sort in the function. We don't need it necessarily. So then in the component code, get player ranking. If player finish, return player finish. Else if player stack, return busted, no. Else return registered, no. GitHub Copilot doesn't understand poker tournaments that well. It's pretty funny. Ah, j'ai une question. Bonjour, tellement déçu de n'avoir pu assister au stream. Tant d'idées à partager. À quand le prochain? Ben, on est toujours en cours. Hein. Si tu as les idées, tu peux les laisser. Sinon, je pense que ça va être plutôt les vendredis que je fais ça. Parce que j'ai d'autres activités qui prennent le reste de la semaine. Je suis assez chargé, mais quasi sûr, je vais faire ça les vendredis, la plupart du temps. Si je ne suis pas en déplacement professionnel. Sinon, je vais faire un peu quand ça me chante. J'ai pas encore un planning très détaillé. Je vais essayer de, quand je prends plus le rythme, d'avoir un truc vraiment planifié, mais pour l'instant, ça va être souvent le vendredi matin ou après-midi. Et puis, après, on va voir. Des fois, les samedis, quand ma femme bosse, je vais profiter pour faire des petites streams. Donc, on va voir. Ce week-end, elle ne bosse pas. Donc, probablement pas demain. Je ne sais pas. Donc, he was just asking one of the users of Blind Valet was asking about regrets not being able to watch the stream and has a lot of ideas to share and was wondering when my next stream was going to be. I'm not sure yet. My schedule is a bit undefined at the moment. I'm just getting into it. It's only my third or fourth stream. Mostly it'll probably be on Fridays or on the weekend. And maybe some other moments when I just have some extra time. But I have some other activities that I do, so I'm not sure when I'll be doing it. Pas de problème. À très bientôt. Il y a un petit truc sur le site maintenant de Blind Valley. Il y a une petite annonce quand je stream. Donc, et sinon, il y a le newsletter. Je vais essayer d'envoyer quand j'ai un stream planifié. À bientôt. So yeah, I'll try and there's a little announcement on the website when I go live. But and there's a newsletter my newsletter I usually send out when I have one planned. But if it's just kind of an impromptu stream, just follow me. I guess that's the best way to do it is to follow on Twitch. That's the best way to get more to get notified when I go live. But also there's always the possibility to go online on Blind Valet and leave your ideas and your questions on the website. Here's a chat that goes directly to me, so I get messages from that. Can't always say I'm going to respond right away, but I will respond to every message. So sometimes it'll take me a couple days. Sometimes I'll answer in 30 seconds if I'm online. Sometimes it takes me a couple days, but I'll get back to you. You can send me it here through the chats. This is kind of the preferred way because I get, if you're logged into Blind Valet at the time, then I have access to your account right away. I can see who you are, what kind of tournaments you have. If you have a problem with your club, I can see it immediately. So this is probably my preferred method. There's also Facebook Messenger on our Facebook page. We don't really update the Facebook page, but if you send a message to Blind Valet on Facebook, then I'll get that as well. Or you can send a message to support@blindvalet.com, and I'll also get that. They actually all come to a Slack workspace that I use. So it's they all go to the same place, and then when I answer, it goes back to the channel you came in from. And here's a little message saying that I'm live. That takes you to the Blind Valet, Twitch stream. Okay. So back to the player ranking. So if the player is finished, return the player's finished position. That's good. If they finish fourth, it should be number 4. Else, if let's look at let me see. Let's see. Sort. Sort a copy of latest players. By player sort pipe. Let's see how GitHub Copilot does with that. Slice. Yes, that's going to copy it. No. No. I know I can import the pipe. Player sort pipe. Where'd that come from? Okay. I know there's a way to use it inside the component. I can't remember how that works. There we go. Sorted players, transform sorted players. Cool. Okay, so that's pretty good. No, actually what I'll do is I'll pass in also the key number. The key is a number, right? So I don't have to find it in the list. So I go back to my component. I'll call that with the key. And let's see, back here. So I pass it in the key. So we get this. So first of all, if key equal to 0, return key plus 1. Key equals 0, or player.finish return Q plus 1, right? If they finished, we're just going to return the place they finished in, regardless. Or if they're the first one on the list, we're always going to return the 1, because even if they're all tied for first place, we want to list number 1, first place, even if the tournament hasn't really started yet. So we don't need this anymore. So this is a copy of that. New player sort. Sorted by the player pipe. Okay. And then let's say. So at this point, we know that they're not finished. They're still in the tournament. So if player stack equal to sorted players key -1 stack. This is the person just above me, right? So if I have the same stack as the person above me, that means that that they were that if they're above me, then we're tied, right? So we want to we don't want to list anything to show that we're tied. So we're just going to return an empty string. Else return a key +1. So really, I like doing this check first because it's quick and simple, and you're not doing a array copy, you're not doing a sort, you're not doing anything like that. You're just checking the values where you can say, okay, this is a quick win. Otherwise, do the more complicated check. So I like that, even though we're returning the same thing here and here. It's kind of duplication, but it's I think makes sense. Let's see how that works. Players. Nice. First try. How about that? Lapito, number 1 place, 2,500. Then these 3 in alphabetical order, all with the same stack, tied for second. 2, 3, 4. Then James is in 5th, currently ranked, and these players have finished. The stack should be replaced by the payout if they're in the money. What are the payouts here? 3 places. Let's make it 4, 5 places. Five places paid. So then if we eliminate this one, if they're in the money, it goes to orange and the payout shows. So now we have 4 places, 2 people tied for seconds. If we change his to 1,500, there should be 3 people tied for second. That looks pretty good. I like that. I like that. This has kind of cleaned up the interface. I think taking things away from an interface is almost as important as things you add to the interface, if not more important. So this just simplified our interface. We don't have that clunky button up top. We have a single sort method. Let's see a new tournament, how that looks. New tournament. Players, register player, Baxter, Furry. Why do I have someone called Furry? James, Jeff, Nolan. That's my daughter's name. Wazoo, Pointy, Lapito. Okay. So here we have first place. Everybody tied for first at the moment. That makes sense, right? So rebuy tournaments. Jeff rebuys. I'm now in first place because I have 3,000 stack, which makes sense. I'm in first stack. I rebought. I'm in first place. James rebuys too. Rebuys. People that have rebuys are tied for first. The other people are tied for fourth. That's what happens when you have a rebuy tournament and people buy in for double. Okay. That's pretty good, I think. I think we've done good work here. So let's see. Let's commit this one. Modified leaderboard to reflect people tied for the same ranking. Now I just want to make sure that the player sorts, I have a lot of cleanup to do actually, because now that I'm doing this sorting correctly with a pipe, I actually don't need any of this stuff. Why is that open? So there's a lot of places in the code. Why does this keep splitting my screen? Oh, to replace preview. I don't want to replace this. I just want to search for it. So I don't need to set the player sort anywhere. I'm not going to use it anymore. It's completely useless to me. Right? So this is a change we made earlier. So we're going to get rid of this. We don't need this. We don't need this. Okay, so that's good. What about here? Copy object. What am I doing here? What the heck am I doing here? What is this syntax? Can anybody explain to me what I did here years ago? Why is blame paused? I want to know who did this. How dare we? Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. This may have been, I I'm not the only one that's written code on this app. I've had employees in the past. I've had interns in the past. Interns didn't really touch the production code, but they work more on some other applications. But so this line I don't need. That looks better, huh? Okay. What next? What next? Piece sort. Look, this is another place where I'm not was not consistent. See, I should have been calling the function here, and here I'm using like this whole leader sort, player sort, all of this I don't need. So leader sort, no, don't need it. Piece sort, no, don't need it, 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 don't need it. Bye-bye. Oh, I love deleting code. It's great. Okay, okay. What's next? Other culprits. Here, don't need it. What else? Here. Don't need it. That's the one place I do need it still is my pipe that I created. That's the new one I created. This I'm going to have to update this suspects pipe because it's going to operate a bit differently. This is still there. It's my pipe that I created. So that stays. This stays because it's the pipe. It's the pipe. So suspects. Suspects. What is suspects? If we're doing a tournament where we track knockouts, what does that mean? That means that when we eliminate a player, we can ask who eliminated that player. So let's say somebody knocked out Furry. Elimination. Knocked out by, and so this is asking for a list of possible suspects for the knockout. So this is something I've changed just recently because one of my users suggested that if the tournament is already seeded, so let's say, why is this showing up as a password field for me? I don't know. What the heck? Why is this showing up as a password field? What is going on with Chrome? That's weird. Hold on, let's try this again. Elimination, knocked out by, no, sorry. If I draw seats, let's go this, make this 4. 4. Say we're doing 4 people per table. I'll have to look at that as well. So now one of my users suggested and said, well, if Baxter is eliminated, it's obviously going to be either Wazoo, Nolan, or Lupito. It's not going to be Pointy because they're not at the same table. They're not playing with the same deck of cards. How could they be eliminated by them? And to what I responded, that makes sense. So the idea now is that if I eliminate Baxter after the tournament's seeded, then I should be given Wazoo, Nolan, or Lupito as my first choices to eliminate Baxter. Maybe they're not. They've mixed up the tables on their own and they're not following this. So let's give the other people that are still in the tournament also an option. So that's what should be here. Now you can see Lupito, Nolan, and Wazoo are the first choices, and then the other ones are still available in case you're not following the seating chart. So I think that makes sense. We just got to look at this because they're using the player sort field, which is no longer valid. So we need to fix that. Okay, so locale compare. I guess locale compare is a better way, probably doing it than to uppercase, but yeah, that's probably a better way to do it. Refactoring the suspects to handle eliminated player, yeah. So this is code more recent. This is from a couple months ago where I did a local compare, which I should probably do the same thing on the player sort pipe. So basically, yeah, so we're doing, instead of using player sort, let's just use the display name. Should be fine in this case. Four options, so yeah, display name should be good. Let's test that. Seeding, Baxter, poor Baxter. Lupito no en wazoo. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now, let's just make sure that if I eliminate Pointy, let's see, Pointy got knocked out by James. Pointy should not be there at all, right? It should only be people that are still in the tournament, right? Pointy's gone. That's good. Okay, so that's good. So player sort is no longer needed there. It's only on the name of our pipe. It's in the sorting of the table, using the pipe, and the pipe is used there. That's the only place we see it. The other one we want to get rid of is leader sort, because that we've gotten rid of altogether. So this is gone. Don't need it. What else? This is gone. Don't need it. No, this is not needed. This is the case where somebody wins the tournament. Okay. Leader sort not needed. So fun to delete code. Okay, leader sort equals all this. Gone. Gone. What is this? What is this? This is the info box. So this is on the clock. There's these info boxes, and one of them is a leaderboard that should scroll through here. Line structure, then there's another one's a leaderboard, and that one uses the leader sort. Let's see, Pointy was our person eliminated, so they're showing up there. And I only show the people that have finished, right? Yes, only people that have finished so far. I think it's kind of a weird one. It's like, yeah, I only show the players that have finished if the stacks have not been updated at all. Because, like we said, it doesn't really make sense to show everybody tied for first place if they're not using the stacks function. And they have not been manually updated. It's only been rebuys that have done that. So, but if I start making changes here, then that info box changes. The order's changing, and all of a sudden it becomes more relevant, the leaderboard. And so now you see I actually show the values for these people. And that scrolls through. So let's, we should just be able to make this player sort, since it's basically doing the same thing as the leader sort used to. So this is our new pipe. So that should still be working. And it's looking good. Looks good to me. Okay. What else? Leader sort. The last place. So this is what I was doing. What I was just doing, where I was changing the stack value manually. That's what this does, and so it was setting that value for the leader sort. So this is going to clean up the database a lot, actually. It's basically taking two properties off of the player object, which is used in many different places. So ideally, I would go back and clean out the database of all the old tournaments, but it could be rough. Because there's thousands and thousands of tournaments in here. We had, in fact, I could show you. If we go into our admin interface, there's a stats item, tournaments. It's 150,000 tournaments in the database. This is a weekly chart, weekly tournaments. You can see we're growing. People are back playing poker. This was COVID. We had a pretty dramatic dip during COVID, the start of COVID for sure, and then people started slowly coming back to poker, and now we're starting to approach the curve that we would have had beforehand. There's a bug. I had an intern made this, but the stats thing. But there's a bug with the display. Sometimes it switches between what it shows there. Yeah, so about 150,000 tournaments, and you can see last week. Was it last week or a couple of weeks ago? We had our record with nearly 700 tournaments in a week on the platform. That's pretty cool. I might have showed you this earlier, but for anyone that wasn't there, there's also Blind Valet/live, which I haven't really publicized, but it's kind of a live feed of what's happening right now across the world on Blind Valet. So it just has anonymous events, just showing what the country and city and state, state and country it's coming from. Most probably should take the state off of most countries, but we've got tournaments in Russia, we've got tournaments in Ukraine, Lithuania, France, United Kingdom, Germany, United States. These are all going on right now. So players registering for tournaments in these different places, being created, Mayat, all over the world. So it's cool. I like watching that and checking in. So I was gonna do it today, but I got into some stuff, some user stuff. So that's priority. But I'm gonna build a Twitch overlay so I can actually see events coming from my users, see that live feed and see those on screen during the Twitch stream, which would be kind of cool to see those real time. Because I mean, look, it's 5:34, 5:33, 5:32, 5:31. We got events coming in just about every minute right now, which is pretty fun. So. Maybe it'll be. Maybe I'll have to scale back on which ones I actually show because it might be a bit too much. But anyways, we could do that. Okay, so if we go back to our search, leader sort is gone, player sort is gone, except our new pipe, and the button is gone, and we fixed the suspects pipe. I think we're done. Code cleanup for refactoring, player sort. Yeah, so let's push it. Let's push it to production. So first, I have my main development branch. So I'm gonna merge that. Git status. Let's just make sure. And develop git merge player sort player table sort. Player table sorting, I think I called it. Okay. 3 commits, sounds right. And then I know what that other one was. Okay, so this will go to, I host Blind Valley on Netlify. Netlify is a static host, static site hosting. It's not really a static site, but it's just everything that I push right now is all front end stuff. So it's all going to just HTML and JavaScript files. And so that I host on Netlify. I've had pretty much 100% uptime with them. I've had no issues. Deployment, all I have to do is push to master and it automatically deploys for me. So it's pretty good. So let's see. Let's go back to the app. Probably isn't deployed yet, but let's open a tournament. Players tab. I still have my big clunky button here with different sorting for each of them, which is, this one doesn't look that different, but it could certainly be different depending on what's happening. So let me just go off screen for a second, and I'm going to check my Netlify deployment. Just I might be having some log information, so just want to check that. So this is the current build that's running for Blind Valley. So it's going through the deployment process. That does the whole build for Angular and deploys, does a production build and deploys. So once that process is done, we'll check to make sure everything looks good. Initializing complete, building complete, deploying complete. Let's see. So we refresh. Players, no more button, a single sorting, and looks good. Let's see, expected. No, that's a different type of tournament. It's the same one I was on. this one have different maybe? Oh, these are finished as well. Okay. Let's just be sure. Let's manage players, track knockouts. So our tied for first is working. Let's change this, 12,000. First place tied for second, looks good. If he won 2,000, someone had to lose 2,000, right? Porf. Down to 8,000, okay, that's looking good. Elimination, knocked out by. Now here we have the full list of the players because the tournament isn't seeded yet, so that's okay. Yeah, that was good. Okay. Let's see. If nobody has any other questions, I think I'm going to call it a stream. It's been about 2.5, 3 hours. Didn't get to my stream overlay yet, but pretty cool. I improved the app. The app got better today, thanks to the suggestions. Thanks for people calling out issues with it. The app got a little bit better today, so that's a win. And sorry for some people that weren't able to come on the stream today that wanted to, and we'll hopefully you followed on Twitch and get the notifications when I go online, and then we'll talk next time. So maybe early tomorrow morning if I'm up early before the house gets up. But if not, probably next Friday. So see you guys soon. Thanks.